because we're gonna grab some hickory nuts. All right, y'all. So Cullen and I are on our morning adventure. We're gonna start at the hickory, the small hickory, which is close to the highway, as you can tell. And this one is dropping hickory nuts already. So according to all the research I've done, hickories produce nuts every year, but they have what's called a bumper crop every 3 years. We're pretty sure that the big tree down below is having a bumper year. It's got nuts everywhere, but I kind of wanted to show you because this is really easy to see because it's on the dirt road, kind of what they look like. So these little guys here are the dried hickory nuts, and this is what we're coming to collect and make into our hickory syrup and things like that. So Cullen and I are gonna start cleaning up. Oh, he's already prepared. The problem is that this little guy is also going to pick up rocks. So as Cullen rolls him over, go buddy, go! Pick him up. He's gonna start picking up nuts as he rolls through, so you can see him already in there. Turn around, come back. And as we collect these nuts, then we're gonna turn them into syrup. And that's the highway there, so you can understand why we're getting... There you go, you got it. So we're gonna do this, and we're gonna put them in this basket here. So we're obviously not gonna collect a ton yet, because this is really just an experiment of what to do. So we need to dump 3 of them. All right, so here we go. So our little nut guy, got it, buddy?
Yeah.
If we push this handle down, it actually opens it up. So we're gonna swing this around and whoops, push. You gotta hold it, buddy. Push this down. You gotta hold it, Cullen. There you go. And see, it opens it up, and then we can dump things out while Cullen's falling on the ground, and it's a good time. So we just dump them out, and away we go. I think for these ones, it may actually be easier to pick them up by hand. What do you think, bud?
Too ouchy.
Too ouchy? Should we pick them up by hand?
What?
Should we pick them up by hand like this? Look. We'll just pick up our hickory nuts. So these are our hickory nuts. We're gonna start picking them up. He's insisting. There he goes. He got some. The trucks that drive over this driveway have hauled several of them for us already. So we'll have to wash them because they've got some dirt grime. But we've got all sorts of hickory nuts.
Yeah, then we both wait for them.
Yeah, and then you can see over here in the dirt, there's tons and tons of them. So this is what's on the project, part 1. The ingenuity of a toddler. So Cullen is losing more nuts than he's collecting, but he's having fun doing it. So that's kind of the important part. I'm also kind of amazed at the native foods that the Ozarks provides. We are really big into foraging and finding foods and harvesting foods from the wild, and the Ozarks is ripe with them. So it's kind of neat to show our children that, you know, food comes from where we live and that we can grow things, but that also Mother Nature gives us stuff. So we're going to keep harvesting these, and hopefully we'll get a full basket, and then we can start making syrup. Okay, y'all. So I just kind of wanted to share the fun that it is having a 4-year-old be in charge of picking up the nuts. He is really taking ownership of picking up all of these nuts, and he's having so much fun with it. So my hope is that he's going to sleep tonight. He's just having fun rolling the little thing around. We're going to pick up some walnuts here in a little bit as well, but I thought that you would enjoy this kind of fun little moment that he's having, hunting for all of these hickory nuts. So just in a couple minutes, you can see we're already starting to pick up a good number of them. We need helpers. Oh, and so yeah, we're gonna kind of see how this goes. My hope is that we can replace our syrup bill with hickory syrup that we make on our own, and then we don't. You found some more? Until our sugar maples start producing enough that we can start tapping them, and then we'll have several different options. So we're going to keep going with these hickory nuts. I might set up the camera so you can kind of see as we go along. It's kind of fun, and I think we're going to go into the big pasture and see how many hickory nuts we can get off the big tree. So Cullen and I collected this entire basket of hickory nuts. Now, I've been trying to process this entire basket of hickory nuts and basically have resorted to a hammer and bashing things. In an attempt to do things better, I have found a couple videos and blogs that say soak them for an hour, and that'll make the nut more pliable. I think that's what we're gonna do, is we're gonna soak this entire basket of hickory nuts in warm water for a couple hours, which gives me the ability to do pasta for dinner this evening and start my sourdough English muffins for the market. And then we should be on the road to hickory syrup. Cross your fingers. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take these and fill them with, or soak them rather, in water and see where we go from there. My super duper helper has lost interest and is now watching TV, which actually makes things a little bit easier. Okay, so we put the hickory nuts in to the hot water, and you can start seeing these bubbles coming up, and I'm wondering if that is because the shells themselves are porous. A lot of the reading that I've done says that the native people actually boiled these shell and all to make their version of nut milk, which was really high in fat and was great for getting them through the winters. So I'm wondering if, for the purposes of syrup, if it would be just as good to actually boil the whole entire nut and hull, or nut and shell, not the hull, but the nut and shell as well. I'm going to let these soak. We'll see where we go from there. And then I have a whole nother tree to harvest, so it'll be kind of fun to experiment with things. Okay, so I soaked my hickory nuts for several hours, and that didn't really loosen anything up. So in some of the research, as I said before, the native people just boiled everything whole, so shell and all. So my attempt is going to be to do a shell and all boil and see if we get any flavoring into the water, and then I can make syrup from that flavored water. Right now, I just started it, so I'm going to flip it and see. It's just, so we're cooking it outside on the grill. I have a gas side burner on the grill. So I'm going to start that, and then we'll see if I get a rolling boil. I can already see that hot water is starting to cause some bubbles, so I'm thinking that the water is seeping into the shells, and we'll go from there. Okay, you guys, I wish that the YouTube had a smell-o-vision, so you could smell all of the gloriousness that is coming from this pot. So it's getting a fabulous dark milky color. It's starting to boil. It's starting to get some of the oil that is coming from the nuts, and oh my gosh, the aroma that is coming from this pot right now is just to die for. So if it smells like this, my hope is that it just tastes amazing as well. I can't get over how aromatic it is. It's only been boiling for about 4 minutes, and it is just over the top beautiful. So we're gonna keep going here, and hopefully we'll end up with some syrup. Okay, everybody, my hickory juice, for lack of a better term, is off the hot and has cooled down. There wasn't really enough oil on the top of this to make it worthwhile to harvest. So basically what I'm doing now is I'm straining off, you can kind of see that oil sitting there. I'm straining off all the liquid or the chunks that came off of the shells, and I'm straining it through a coffee filter and getting this lovely brown liquid in to this jar, and my hope is that I'll make syrup from it. Okay, so I've strained off some of the liquid, and to make a simple sugar, or a simple syrup, excuse me, we're gonna mix equal parts sugar and liquid. So I've got 3.5 cups of sugar in here melting with 3.5 cups of the hickory nut juice, and we're going to bring that to temp to be a syrup, and then we're going to let it cool and we'll try it out. Okay, so official review of hickory syrup. We made French toast this evening for dinner. We had Brinner, and it is a hit. So probably better liked at this household anyway than maple syrup. It was pretty darn tasty. So we're going to actually start refining this whole process and then offering it at the farmer's market, which is super exciting because we're offering a local food, which is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and a native food, which is something I'm very passionate about. So super fun. Glad that it worked out so well. And yeah, keep watching. Thanks so much. We're going to bring you some more fun stuff maybe tomorrow.